In the vast stretches of the galaxy, where countless stars illuminated the dark void of space, there existed a kingdom of unimaginable power, ruled by a fierce alien race known as the Xilorians. Their empire spanned several solar systems, with its gleaming capital planet at the heart of it all. Among their ranks was Princess Scylla, the youngest of the royal bloodline, whose beauty and intelligence were celebrated across the universe. But as often happens with royal heirs, Scylla's life took a sharp turn when she was betrayed by a trusted general within her empire. She was imprisoned, and her captors, greedy and merciless, sent her to the furthest corners of the galaxy in a ship designed to never be found. Her cries for help were swallowed by the emptiness of space as she drifted, helpless and alone. Meanwhile, across the stars, in a corner of the galaxy known to few, a human known as Emperor Kale ruled over an empire forged from the ashes of what had once been an isolated, primitive civilization. Humanity, once regarded as insignificant by the galactic powers, had evolved into a formidable force. They had conquered worlds, established trade routes, and bent the universe to their will. Emperor Kale, a descendant of the first human emperor, had no memory of the primitive age his ancestors had once endured, but the stories of their struggle were woven into the very fabric of his reign. Though technologically far behind the alien empires, Kale's brilliance and cunning had made him a force to be reckoned with. He had united the scattered human colonies under one banner, something that had never been done before. On one of his routine patrols, Kale's flagship, the Vanguard, received a strange signal. It was faint, almost drowned out by the cosmic radiation that filled the void. But there was something about it that tugged at the Emperor's instincts. It was a distress signal, a cry for help from a royal ship, an advanced vessel clearly not of human design. Intrigued, Kale ordered his fleet to alter course. His advisors warned him against the mission. The ship in distress could be a trap, a ploy by one of the galaxy's more powerful empires to lure him into a conflict. But Kale was resolute. He saw this as an opportunity to demonstrate his empire's might and extend his influence. As the fleet arrived at the coordinates, they found the ship floating, abandoned, its hull damaged and scorched. Boarding the alien craft, Kale's soldiers discovered Princess Scylla unconscious and shackled. Her once pristine royal attire was tattered, and her eyes were closed in exhaustion. She was a symbol of a once proud civilization, but in this moment she was nothing more than a vulnerable being. The Emperor, upon seeing the princess, felt a strange surge of pity and curiosity. He ordered his medical team to tend to her injuries and bring her aboard the Vanguard. It was an act of kindness that was rare for Kale, who was more often known for his cold, calculated decisions. However, he could not ignore the sense of responsibility he felt for someone who had been abandoned in the vastness of space. Scylla awoke days later in the comfort of Kale's flagship. Her head throbbed, and the light hurt her eyes as she slowly opened them. She saw the stern face of Emperor Kale standing at the foot of her bed, observing her carefully. "Where am I?" she whispered, her voice hoarse from the lack of water and the stress of her imprisonment. "You're safe," Kale replied, his tone low but firm. "You were found on a derelict ship near the edge of Xilorian space. Your distress signal reached us." Scylla's eyes widened as she tried to sit up, but the weight of her body and the soreness of her limbs kept her in place. "The Xilorians, they betrayed me. My own people left me to die." Kale's expression softened. He had known betrayal in his own empire, though he had never been forced to experience it on the scale Scylla described. He had been taught that loyalty was the most valuable currency in the galaxy, and he respected those who demonstrated it. Her words resonated with him, but there was something else that intrigued him, a sense of awe and admiration in the princess's resolve. "You don't have to worry about them anymore," Kale said, his voice reassuring. "You're under my protection now." Scylla stared at him for a long moment, her mind racing. Why would a human emperor, someone from such a primitive species, extend such an offer? Humans had always been considered inferior in the galactic order. The Xilorians themselves had once dismissed them as weak and insignificant. Yet here was a human ruler, not only offering her sanctuary, but claiming to have the power to protect her from her own empire. Why would you help me? Zilla asked, still skeptical. I'm nothing more than a pawn in an empire that's far beyond your reach. Kale chuckled softly, his eyes gleaming with an unspoken confidence. You're wrong. Humanity might not have the ancient power or the technology of the Xalorians, but we have something far more important. Will, we've fought for our survival, and we've won. I am not afraid of them or anyone. Zilla blinked, taken aback. She had never met anyone who spoke with such conviction. Her whole life, she had been taught that only the most advanced races could survive in this galaxy. Yet here she was, in the hands of a race she had once deemed beneath her. You have no idea what you're dealing with, she warned. The Xalorian Empire will come after you. They will destroy you and your people without a second thought. Kale stepped closer, looking at her with a mixture of sympathy and determination. Let them come. I've built my empire on the foundation of struggle that I don't fear them. In fact, I'll be the one to make them fear me. Princess Zilla felt a shiver run down her spine. She had never seen such confidence, such fire in anyone before. She had always thought of humans as nothing more than an afterthought in the grand scheme of the galaxy. But now, as she looked into Kale's eyes, she saw something she hadn't expected: hope. For the first time since her betrayal, Zilla felt a flicker of something she hadn't felt in a long while: resilience. As the days passed, Princess Zilla began to recover, and in the process, she grew more aware of the unique power Kale wielded. She watched as he ruled with an iron will, but also with a deep sense of empathy and respect for those who had followed him. Kale's empire, while still young, was unlike anything she had ever seen. In the end, the Xalorian Empire would come, just as she had predicted. But the battle that would follow, the clash of ancient power against the unstoppable drive of humanity, would change the galaxy forever. And at the heart of it all, Princess Zilla, once a captive, would find herself standing side by side with the very human emperor she had once underestimated.